You know that feeling when you tap a button in an app and it just feels good? Maybe it's a little burst of confetti when you finish a task, or the way a heart icon kind of pulses when you like something. Well, believe me, those things are not accidents. They're actually part of a really deep and powerful strategy that's designed to make you come back for more. These tiny clicks are the engine for a massive business plan, and we're about to break down exactly how it all works.
Okay, so picture the most basic like button you can imagine. You tap it and a number goes up. Sure, it does the job, right? But that's it. It feels kind of cold, almost robotic. There's no personality, no feedback, really no joy in it at all. But now, look at this version. That little pulse, that tiny burst of life. All of a sudden, the action feels satisfying. It's like a mini reward. That one simple animation completely transforms a boring task into a small moment of delight. And that feeling right there, that's the key to this whole thing.
So what we're looking at here actually has a name. It's called a microanimation. You can think of them as these tiny, really purposeful movements that are designed to give you feedback, help you figure out what to do next, and, at the end of the day, just make the whole experience feel a little more human and alive.
So what's really the big deal with these little movements? Let's dive into the magic behind them and why they matter so much more than you probably think.
Yeah, these are definitely not just digital confetti. They're actually doing some serious work. They give you instant feedback, like, yep, we got your click. They can guide your eye, kind of showing you what to do next without you even realizing it. And of course, on an emotional level, they inject a bit of the brand's personality, creating that delightful feeling that just makes you want to stick around.
Which brings us to a huge question. Are companies really spending all this time and money on these little animations just to make us smile? Or is there a much bigger, much more calculated business strategy at play here?
Oh, you bet there is. These tiny animations are a crucial piece of one of the most powerful business models in the tech world today.
It's called product-led growth, or PLG for short, and it basically flips the old way of doing business on its head. So, forget about sales calls and flashy ad campaigns. With PLG, the product is the marketing. The whole idea is to make the experience of using the app so good that it just sells itself. It convinces you to sign up, to stay engaged, and eventually to even become a paying customer. And the results? They're pretty staggering. PLG companies spend way less money getting new customers, they keep their users around for longer, and they grow way faster than their competitors. And yeah, all of that growth can literally start with something as simple as a perfectly designed like button animation.
But wait, how does a little animation actually lead to faster growth? Well, the connection is all in our heads. It's about psychology. And to get it, we need to talk about a concept that every single app developer is completely obsessed with, making their product sticky.
Stickiness is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a measure of how likely you are to keep coming back to a product. There's visit stickiness, which is all about keeping you engaged, and then there's purchase stickiness, which is about encouraging you to buy again. For a PLG company, maximizing both of those is the name of the game.
So how do you create this stickiness? Well, it usually comes down to two different types of interaction. First, you've got informational interactions. This is the stuff that appeals to your logical brain, giving you the facts, the specs, the data you need. Then you've got relational interactions. This stuff targets your heart. It's about building a sense of community and creating an emotional connection.
Now, at the same time, we humans make two different kinds of decisions. There are high-involvement decisions, things like buying a laptop or a car. They're risky, they matter, and we put a lot of careful thought into them. Then you have low-involvement decisions, like, say, buying a box of cookies. They're quick, they're not a big deal, and we usually rely on simple feelings and cues. And remember that little heart animation? That is a perfect cue for a low-involvement decision.
And this, right here, is where it all comes together. The secret to making a product sticky is matching the right kind of interaction to the right kind of decision. For those big, risky decisions, you need information. But for the small, everyday choices, you're much more likely to be swayed by emotion. The best products out there, they know exactly which button to push and when.
Okay, so we've got the micro animations, we've got product-led growth, and we've got the psychology of how we make choices. Now, let's put all the pieces of the puzzle together and see the full picture.
So this is the complete framework. The big goal is product-led growth. You get there by building a super sticky product. The tactic you use for that is things like micro-animations. And the science that makes it all work is matching that interaction to how the user's brain is working at that exact moment. It's a straight line from a tiny design choice to a massive business outcome.
So what this strategy really does is it works on two different levels at once. There's the emotional path, where all those little delightful moments build up your trust in the product. And then there's the cognitive path, where the product becomes so useful and easy that it creates something called cognitive lock-in. It just gets so ingrained in your habits that switching to something else feels like way too much work.
So once you understand this framework, I promise you, you will never look at your apps the same way again. You start to see that every single detail is there for a reason.
I just remember this great quote, that product-led growth isn't a destination you arrive at, it's a strategy. This isn't a one-time trick. The best companies are constantly testing and tweaking and refining all these tiny interactions to make their products just a little bit stickier and their growth just a little bit faster.
So here's a final thought for you. The next time you feel that little spark of delight from an animation in an app, just pause for a second and ask yourself, what is this really designed to do? Is it helping me with a big analytical decision? Or is it trying to build an emotional connection for a small one? Because once you start looking for it, you'll start to see the hidden strategy behind every single click.